Elizabeth Bathory, the full story of the Blood Countess who killed 650 girls. Elizabeth Bathory, known as the Bloody Lady of Accusations, is one of the most controversial figures in European history. Her story shrouded in dark legends and terrifying myths. Born in 1560 into one of the most powerful noble families of then Hungary, her name today is associated more with cruelty than noble heritage. According to historical records, Elizabeth Bathory was accused of torturing and murdering hundreds of young girls, earning her a place in public awareness as the Bloody Countess. Sit back and enjoy the full story of Elizabeth Bathory, a noblewoman who left a brutal and bloody mark on history. Elizabeth Bathory was born in 1560 at her family's estate in Nyírbátor, Hungary, and spent her childhood at the Ecsed Castle. Elizabeth came from a very prominent noble family. Her father, Baron George VI Bathory, was a member of the Ecsed branch of the family, and the brother of Andrew Bonaventura Bathory, the ruling voivode of Transylvania. Her paternal ancestors held significant positions in the Polish-Lithuanian nobility, with grandparents such as Conrad the Red, Duke of Masovia and Warsaw from the Piast dynasty, and Anna Radziwiłł, a member of the powerful Radziwiłł family. Her mother, Baroness Anna Bathory of Somlyo, was also from a powerful branch of the Bathory family, being the daughter of Stephen Bathory, Palatine of Hungary. This lineage made Elizabeth the niece of another Stephen Bathory, who became King of Poland and Grand Duke of Lithuania. Elizabeth came from a privileged family, which afforded her immense wealth and excellent education. Raised as a Calvinist Protestant, she was fluent in multiple languages, including Latin, German, Hungarian and Greek. Her high social standing granted her access to education, a rarity for women of the time. Some sources suggest that the Bathory family may have raised Elizabeth in an environment of cruelty, possibly influencing her later behaviour. However, this claim remains speculative. Elizabeth reportedly suffered seizures as a child, now interpreted as epilepsy. Treatments at the time involved strange methods, such as smearing blood on the lips of the afflicted or administering a mixture of blood and skull fragments. According to some accounts, at the age of 13, before her first marriage, Elizabeth gave birth to a child fathered by a young peasant. The baby was allegedly entrusted to a reliable village woman who raised the child in Wallachia. However, the existence of this child was only confirmed through rumours spread long after her death, making the claim dubious. Elizabeth Bathory was a beautiful, dark-eyed, dark-haired woman. In 1575, she married Count Ferenc Nadasdy, a member of another prominent noble family. This marriage, like many in noble society at the time, was a political arrangement that benefited both parties. Ferenc had a fierce and rough temperament. Though he displayed bravery in battles against the Ottomans, he was cruel to his subjects. Residents of Accusations complained to Emperor Maximilian II, who ordered Ferenc in February to stop persecuting his subjects. As a wedding gift, Elizabeth received Accusations Castle from Ferenc, located in the Little Carpathians in present-day Slovakia. Known for its strategic location, the castle was initially owned by the Emperor Maximilian II, who appointed Ferenc's mother Orsolya Kanizsai as its administrator. Ferenc eventually purchased the castle from Emperor Rudolf II in 1602. Due to Ferenc's frequent military campaigns against the Ottomans, Elizabeth became the castle's administrator in his absence. She often had to face threats of attack, as the area was repeatedly raided by the Ottomans. Elizabeth and Ferenc had several children. Their first daughter, Anna Nadasdy, was born in 1585 and later married Nicola VI Zrinski. a notable Croatian nobleman. Other children included Orsolja, Ortsika, who married Istvan II Benjo, and Katalin. They also had two sons, Andras, who died in childhood, and Pal, who survived to adulthood and fathered Ferenc III Nadasti, a leader in a noble conspiracy against Emperor Leopold I. Nadasti died on January 4th, 1604, at the age of 48, after years of health issues beginning in 1601. Before his death, Ferenc entrusted his friend Georgi Thurzo with the care of his heirs and wife. Ironically, Thurzo later led the investigation into Elizabeth's alleged crimes. After her husband's death in 1604, Elizabeth Bathory's alleged sadistic tendencies came to light. However, it's possible that her questionable behaviour began during her marriage, and that Ferenc tolerated or even advised her on her actions. Allegedly, Ferenc suggested lighting fires between the fingers of unconscious victims to revive them. Elizabeth reportedly began murdering young girls around 1585, and her crimes continued until 1610. This period in Hungary was marked by unrest due to the 15 Years' War against the Ottomans. In Nyitra County, residents were tormented by war, with Ottomans killing or enslaving locals. This environment of fear and suffering allowed Elizabeth to conceal her alleged crimes more easily. Her alleged atrocities were an open secret until 1609, when Emperor Matthias II tasked Georgi Thurzo with investigating the matter. Witnesses from Nitra to Trenčín testified about Elizabeth's practice of luring girls under the pretense of employment. By October 1610, 52 testimonies were gathered. By 1611, this number exceeded 300. On December 30th, 1610, Thurzo arrested Elizabeth and her accomplices, Ilona Jo, Dorotia Semtes, Katarina Banica, and Janos Ujvari, nicknamed Fico, for assisting in the torture and murder of young girls. Despite legends claiming Elizabeth was caught in the act, records indicate she was dining at the time of her arrest. The main trial occurred on January 7th, 1611. Witnesses described Elizabeth's brutal methods, such as burning with hot irons, pouring cold water over naked victims left to freeze, and starving them. One testimony claimed a list of 650 victims was found among her belongings, though the exact number of victims remains unclear. While Elizabeth escaped execution due to her noble status, her accomplices faced severe punishments. Ilona Jo and Dorotia Semtes were burned alive, their fingers torn off with pliers beforehand. Janos Ujvari was beheaded, and Katarina Banica received a life sentence. Elizabeth was confined to Čachtice Castle, where she remained until her death in 1614. She wrote her will in September 1610, dividing her estates among her children. On August 21st, 1614, she complained of cold hands to her guard and was found dead the next morning. She was buried on November 25th, 1614, in Čachtice Church. However, local opposition allegedly led to her remains being moved to Exed, her family's ancestral tomb. The exact location of her grave remains unknown. The whole story, however, has yet another perspective. Elizabeth was a tremendously wealthy widow to whom many influential nobles were in debt during her time. Since accusing her with such atrocities would benefit many of them, most of the described events could very well have been one big conspiracy. The real truth remains shrouded in uncertain history. This concludes the story of Elizabeth Bathory, the so-called Bloody Lady of Čachtice. What do you think of her story? Would you like to hear similar ones? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.